Hello, I'm Dana. Thank you for practicing with me today on the Art of Yoga project. I appreciate you showing up this morning. Today we have a gentle practice nourishing our body and our minds. Before we get started with our actual yoga, we're going to start with a warm-up. So I'm going to invite you all to come up to a standing position. We're going to try and connect our brain to our body a little bit through a little bit of movement. So we're going to have our hand out to the side like we're holding a platter full of tea or water. And we're going to bring the arm in front of our belly. And then we're going to circle it around, and then we're going to bring it over the head and keeping our head flat because we don't want to spill. We're going to bring it in and overhead. And our hips will move a little bit as we bring it in and overhead. Just give it a try. The movement is not critical. And then we'll bring it down. We're going to do it with the other arm, having the hand flat. We'll bring it in, circle it around, and then up overhead. Bring it in and overhead. Sometimes these movements can kind of be tricky, but after we do them a few times, it becomes second nature. Become very easy. And then we're going to bring them both together, and we'll bring both around and then up. And just making sure we don't spill any of the water. And then we're going to pause and we're going to reverse, bring the hands forward and then overhead, doing it in the opposite way. You probably feel a little bit awkward. I know I do. But we're just trying to give it a try, getting our bodies to learn something new about ourselves. And then just shake it out. Oh, nice job. Inhale. Exhale as you lower. And inhale, just bring all that energy from the universe, gathering it and bringing it down and spreading across the body. Exhaling as we lower. One more. Inhale. And then exhaling. Allowing the hands to rest at the belly. And taking a moment here just to check in with how you're doing now. How are you feeling physically? Mentally and emotionally. Not how you were feeling yesterday or an hour ago, but how are you feeling right now in this moment? And today, this gives us a chance to get to know where we might have some blank spots in our emotions. Today we're going to talk about, it's getting to know ourselves, but it's getting to know our dreams, our passions, and spending some time on that element of knowing ourselves deeper with our dreams and passions. And that will lead us into what some of our goals and ambitions are. So we're going to start out today on the ground in child's pose and coming onto your mat, allowing the knees to be close together if that's comfortable, or you can have them wide apart. We're going to have the hands out in front of us, and we'll allow the hips to come down toward the feet, pressing the hands into the ground, allowing the armpits to sink, allowing the forehead to rest onto the ground, and taking a couple breaths here in child's pose. And one of the most important parts of yoga is our breath. And so just take a few moments here in child's pose,
Noticing the breath, noticing the inhalation, and noticing the exhalation. And just allowing the body to soften. And what do you notice about how you're feeling in this posture today? And it may feel different than it did other days. Just breathing. And we'll come up and we're going to walk our hands about an inch farther in front of us. Putting our hands down, and then we're going to allow ourselves to come back down into child's, but this time our hips may not come down to our heels. We're getting a little bit more of a back stretch and a shoulder stretch here. Taking another breath here. And then we'll bring the hands to the shoulders, coming up to all fours, and then we're going to come back down. And then we'll roll up. And then we're going to step our right foot forward into a low lunge, left leg back. You can stay with the hands on the ground, or the hands can come up to the knees. And just taking a moment here. And we'll lift the left arm up if the right knee is forward, and we'll twist over to the right. And just noticing the sensations in the body here. Is this hard? Are you feeling out of balance? And just noticing. And we'll unwind. And then we're going to bring that leg behind. Having our hands on the ground, we're going to move once more into child's pose. Taking a breath here. And then we'll roll up to standing, or to all fours. And then we'll walk the opposite leg forward for a low lunge on this side. Just slowly moving into the posture. We're warming up. Hands can be on the ground, or you can bring them up to the thigh. Taking a couple breaths here in our low lunge. And if the knee is uncomfortable, you can fold the mat up and provide a little bit more cushion. We'll inhale the right arm up, and then we'll twist over that left knee. Take a couple of breaths here. We're going to be working our hips a little bit today. And we tend to hold a lot of our history in our hips. And so we're going to release some of that. And maybe that will open us up to realize what some of our dreams are, what some of our interests and passions are, and some of our goals. And then we'll come down and bringing that foot back, and you can move into child's pose once again, or you can move into downward facing dog. I'm taking a couple breaths wherever you're at. Feeling the back extension, the stretch in the legs, pressing into the hands and the hands into the floor, lifting up through the hips towards the sky as we open our chest towards the floor. And just noticing and feeling the sensations. And then we're going to step the right foot forward
This time we're going to come into a high lunge. We'll lift up, finding our balance, and perhaps the hands at the hips or the hands overhead. Take a couple of breaths here. And the left heel is up, stretching the back of the leg, opening the front of the leg. And as we start to explore our dreams and passions and interests, what about just reflecting in these next couple movements on where some of your talents are? What can you teach someone? What talent do you have? Maybe it's how to braid hair, how to do eye makeup. Maybe it's how to make bread, tortillas, or flatbread. Maybe how to make a cake, how to swim. Maybe how to read or do math problems. We're going to bring the hands down to the ground, and then we're going to lower that back knee to the ground once again, having the left hand on the floor, allowing the left leg to come up, and we're going to reach back and grab that left leg, unless you have a cramp. If you have a cramp, just move slowly, and then grabbing that left leg and coming forward and slightly twisting over that right leg. Stretching that quadricep, the thigh muscle. And what can you teach someone? What do you know that you can teach someone? Because that generally, if we know something enough to teach, it means we're interested. So what's a talent that you have that you can teach someone? Is it how to play a particular game? And then we'll release that leg, bring the hand back down, unwind, and step the right leg back into child's pose or to downward facing dog. Taking a breath here, wiping the slate clean. We'll bend the knees, allow the back to stretch, and then maybe straightening the legs if that's comfortable. Inhaling and exhaling. And I'd also encourage you to be aware of what you're thinking on about yourself. I know when I think about what I could teach someone, it's like, oh, I don't have anything. They already know everything. I'm not talented enough. And let's just let go of those beliefs and assumptions and think about something that you can do. And so I know how to make muffins, and so I could teach someone how to make muffins. And then we'll come forward and we'll step the left foot forward, this time between our legs. Left foot is back, feet are on railroad tracks, and we'll lift up into our lunge position on this one. And having the arms at the waist or overhead. We'll take a couple of breaths here. Maybe you could teach them a couple of yoga poses or breathing exercises. And then we'll come down. And then we're going to lower that right leg. The right hand on the ground. And then we're going to bend that right leg and we'll reach back. Let me see if I can grab mine. And we'll twist over the left leg as we're stretching that hamstring. And if you can't grab the right foot, that's okay. Just allow it to be dangling. And we're not trying to create and move our body into a posture. This is fine. Or this is fine. We're trying to just experience our bodies and understand what they're able to do and what they're not able to do. And be accepting of that. pose isn't supposed to look any particular way. And we'll lower that leg and lower the hand. Then we'll step back into downward facing dog or child's pose once again. And breathing. And then we're going to move into pigeon posture. So we're going to bring the right knee forward, right knee towards right wrist. Left leg is extending back. And we're just going to sit up for a moment. Taking a breath here. If this hurts the right knee, you can try moving the right knee out to the right, or you can come into the first lunge position again that we already did. You don't want to do anything that hurts the knees. And then we're going to do some pigeon bows. We're going to inhale as you open the chest, and then exhale as we bow forward. And you're going to inhale up. We're going to do 3 of these. And then exhale as we forward fold. And then inhale up. Exhale, forward fold. And then we'll inhale up. And then we're going to roll off to the right. And then we're going to bring that left leg around. And I'm going to come at a diagonal. And we're just going to stack the legs on top of each other. So my right ankle is going to come on top of my left knee. And you can see I have a lot of space in between my knee and ankle. Some may be able to get both ankle and knee together. We all have different bodies. So let's just sit up and take a breath here. Just allow yourself to breathe deeply. This is really easy for you. You can allow the torso to come forward any amount. I'm going to stay here. My hips are a little tight today. They're a little tight every day. And so we just want to sit here and breathe into the sensation. And so when we talk about our dreams and passions and goals and ambitions, you probably heard people say 2 things. One is get a job where you can make money, and that's valid, but also do what you love. I think sometimes we think of those as being 2 mutually exclusive activities, and they don't have to be. And so when we talk about our dreams and passions and goals and ambitions, thinking about what we enjoy doing. Then we're going to unwind the legs, and this time we're going to leave the left knee forward. We're going to bring that right leg around the back, and we're going to move into pigeon on this opposite side. So the left knee is up, right leg is extended back. And again, if this hurts that left knee, we want to just move into that lunge that we did earlier. We'll breathe here for a few minutes. And so for me, I danced as a kid, and I always loved the movement of the body and how graceful our bodies can be. And now I get to teach a form of movement with our body that brings in relaxation and other health benefits, not just the movement. And so I was able to take something that I really loved into my career. I'm going to inhale the chest open and then exhale. And inhale the chest up. We'll do about 3 or 4 of these. So if you enjoy making cakes or baking, maybe working as a baker or a chef. If you like gardening, maybe a gardener. If you like math, maybe studying software or mathematics. If you like debate, maybe an attorney. taking a pause. I'm going to roll onto that left hip, and we're going to bring that right leg forward. And we're going to cross it over so it's the right ankle is over the left knee. And we're trying to align the thighs, sitting upright, and allowing that hip to open. And breathing. Noticing the sensation of the breath as it is relaxed and calm as it was when we started. Has your temperature changed? Are you warmer or cooler? Yoga helps us be in the present moment, and that's why I keep having us check in. How are you doing right now? It's to not have us worry about the past or worry about the future and relive the past. How do we come into the present moment? And by tuning into how you're feeling and the sensations right now, it helps us live in this very particular moment. And then we'll undo our legs, we'll extend them, keeping them bent for a moment, and we'll just allow ourselves to lower into a simple, relaxed forward fold. I'm taking a moment here. And then rolling up. We're going to do one more posture before our forward fold, bound angle. And so we're going to bring our heels in front of us so the palm of our feet are touching. We'll sit upright. And the knees are out to the side, and I'm holding on to my ankles. I'm trying to lift up through the spine so that the back of my head is reaching the sky, toward the sky. And you can stay here, or you can actually lean forward any amount into a forward fold. We've already done twisting in the beginning, so I just want us to do a couple forward folds to unwind. So Pablo Picasso said, the meaning of life is to find your gift. The purpose of life is to give it away. So what is the gift that you have, and how can you share it with others? And we'll inhale up, putting the hands on the outside of the knee, lifting the knees up, and then we'll extend the legs out. And we'll lift up, Dandasana, staff pose, flexing the feet, and then we'll allow our torso to come over for a final forward fold. Taking a couple breaths here. What is your gift? What is your talent? What is your passion? What do you care about? Where do you want to spend your time? Nicely done. And we'll move into our final relaxation pose, Shavasana. I'm going to have a blanket for my head. You can recline down on your back. The knees can be bent and the knees resting together. The legs can be extended, the arms can be on the hips or the belly, or they can be out at the side. The eyes can be open, the eyes can be closed. You can be in a seated position. You can even be on your belly, finding a position where you can feel a sense of rest, a sense of stillness, And then taking a couple of breaths, perhaps feeling the belly rise and fall on each inhalation. And you can even put your hand on the belly and feel it expand on the inhalation and contract on the exhalation. Feeling a couple of breaths with the belly expanding and contracting. And then allow the breath to return to its natural, normal breath. And perhaps taking a moment to think about your gifts, your dreams, your passions and goals. I'm not sure I can do it, but I'd really love to. What would that be? I'm not sure I can do it, but I'd really love to. What would that be? What would you really love to do, even though you may be uncertain? For me, I really want to fly a fighter pilot plane. I don't know that I'll ever be able to do it, but I'd really love to do that. What would you love to do? They say if we can't dream our future, it can never take place. And so we need to learn to open our hearts and our minds to some possibilities. If money weren't an object, I would. What would you do if money was not an object? Let's say in regards to following your passion and your dreams. It's not I'd buy a new car, but what would you do if money wasn't an object? And what about, it makes me feel wonderful to imagine that I will. Just completing that sentence. It makes me feel wonderful to know that I will. Perhaps I will climb a mountain. Maybe I'll go to the beach. I'll finish school. I'll find my gift and be able to share it. It makes me feel wonderful to imagine that I will. And then just taking a couple of moments now with your breath, and just notice the sensation of the body, your thoughts and emotions. How are you feeling and doing right now? And then wiggling the fingers and the toes, bringing one knee and the other into the chest. And then rolling over to one side and helping yourself into a comfortable seated position. We'll bring our hands onto our belly. And as we come to the close of our practice, I just wanted to thank you for practicing with the Art of Yoga Project YouTube channel today. Thank you for showing up. And the light in me sees and honors the light in you. Namaste.